Good morning and welcome back to Mornings with Macy. I'm your host, Macy Ray, and today I will be interviewing a University of Arkansas student with autism. And for that, I have Alex Cafferty, who you might recognize from Coffee with Caff. Alex, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So what is it like being a college student with autism?
There's not many differences from like the normal, quote unquote, normal person here. Since I'm highly functioning and I'm mildly on the spectrum, the only main differences are like, it's hard to pay attention in class. And then there's sometimes where I'm walking around campus and it's very awkward for me to like make eye contact with people and that type of thing. But nothing that like someone that doesn't know me could recognize that quickly.
So are there ways that you cope with the eye contact and not really being able to focus?
Focusing is definitely, I have to take my meds every single day, or else when I go to class, I'll just sit there on my laptop, play games. I can't focus on anything. My mind will be going everywhere. I'll look at all the pictures on the wall or anything like that. To cope with it all, I like to go out and do just stress-free things, go out and golf alone or go with a friend and on like a hike or on nature, just something where there's just nothing around you and it's just stress-free and just peaceful.
Yeah, so how old were you when you were diagnosed with autism?
When I was very young, my parents knew I had ADHD. I had a lot of like energy and I couldn't focus on things, so they knew something was up. And then come high school, I had some teachers that were emailing my mom and my parents talking about how I was acting a little odd in class and stuff, not just like my ADHD. So then got tested again and they found out I had Asperger's, which is now just ASD, autism spectrum disorder. Which I have it very mildly, so it doesn't affect me that much, but it was a little weird at the time knowing like I'm autistic. I thought I was just ADHD my whole life.
So other than like the high energy and the focusing, were there any other symptoms or like behaviors that led to your diagnosis?
Well, start like the eye contact thing and then everything like basic, because as a kid it's kind of weird to say some basic things like thank you, your parents have to remind you and stuff, but then when I'm like 15, 16, and it's still hard for me to say like happy birthday to my dad or like just thank you for dinner or something simple like that. It was so awkward for me. I can't even, it's still to this day is very hard for me to look someone in the eyes and say happy birthday. Like those things are just kind of awkward, so they notice those things.
So is it different, like coping with it and managing it in college as it was in maybe high school or middle school?
High school, it might not have been easier. I think it was kind of the same, but my friends all kind of knew how like when I'd snap or something and do something a little off, they would just kind of, they were used to it because we were 4 years together. In college, there's just so many people around. I don't think, it's harder to notice, so I like to think I get away with it. Not get away with it, it's not something getting away with, but people don't notice as easily, so I don't like to use it as an excuse and just live my normal life, quote unquote.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
I would just say like, if one of your friends or someone you know has autism or whatever, I would say don't treat them any differently, and because more than likely they opened up to you because they trusted you and they didn't want you to treat them differently. They want you to keep treating them the same, so don't look at them differently or treat them differently.
Okay, well that is all we have time for. Alex Cafferty, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for tuning in to Mornings with Macy. I'm your host, Macy Ray, and we will see you tomorrow.